Croeso i'r amser story. Today's story is Fantastic Mr. Fox by Roald Dahl. The Three Farmers. Down in the valley there were 3 farms. The owners of these farms had done well. They were rich men. They were also nasty men. All 3 of them were about as nasty and as mean as any men you could meet. Their names were Farmer Boggis, Farmer Bunce, and Farmer Bean. Boggis was a chicken farmer. He kept thousands of chickens. He was enormously fat. This was because he ate 3 boiled chickens smothered in dumplings every day for breakfast, lunch and supper. Bunce was a duck and goose farmer. He kept thousands of ducks and geese. He was a kind of pot-bellied dwarf. He was so short his chin would have been underwater in the shallow end of any swimming pool in the world. His food was doughnuts and goose liver. He mashed the livers into a disgusting paste, and then he stuffed the paste onto the doughnuts. This diet gave him a tummy ache and a beastly temper. Bean was a turkey and apple farmer. He kept thousands of turkeys in an orchard, full of apple trees. He never ate any food at all. Instead, he drank gallons of strong cider which he made from the apples in his orchard. He was as thin as a pencil, and the cleverest of them all. Boggis and Bunce and Bean, one fat, one short, one lean. These horrible crooks, so different in looks, were none the less equally mean. That is what the children around and about used to sing when they saw them. One evening 3 tents were put up on a hill, one for Boggis, one for Bunce, and one for Bean. The tents surrounded Mr. Fox's hole, and the 3 farmers sat outside in their tents eating their supper. Boggis had 3 boiled chickens smothered in dumplings. Bunce had 6 doughnuts filled with a disgusting goose liver paste, and Bean had 2 gallons of cider. Boggis picked up a steaming chicken and held it close to the fox's hole. "Can you smell this, Mr. Fox?" he shouted. "Lovely tender chicken. Why don't you come up here and get it?" The rich scent of chicken wafted down the tunnel to where the foxes were crouching. "Oh, Dad," said one of the smallest foxes, "couldn't we just sneak up and snatch it out of his hand?" "Don't you dare," said Mrs. Fox. "That's just what they want you to do." "But we're so hungry," they cried. "How long will it be until we get something to eat?" Their mother didn't answer them, nor did their father. And there's the picture. Okay, on the next page. There was no answer to give. As darkness fell, Bunce and Bean switched on the powerful headlamps of 2 tractors next to their tents. They shone them into the hole. "Now," said Bean, "we'll take it in turns to keep watch. 1 watches while 2 sleep, and so on, until all through the night." Boggis said, "What if the fox digs a hole right through the tunnel and comes out the other side? You didn't think of that one, did you?" "Of course I did," said Bean, pretending that he had. "Go on then, tell us the answer," said Boggis. Bean picked something up out of his ear and flicked it away. "How many men have you got working on your farm?" he asked. 35, Boggis said. "I've got 36, Bunce said. "And I've got 37, said Bean. "That makes 108 men altogether. We must order them to surround the hill. There'll be no escape for Mr. Fox." So the order went down to the farms that that night 108 men formed a tight ring around the bottom of the hill. This made it quite impossible for a fox, or indeed any other animal, to escape from the hill. The next day they watched and waited. Boggis and Bunce and Bean sat up on small stools staring at Fox's hole. They didn't talk much, they just sat there. Every so often Mr. Fox would creep a little closer towards the mouth of the tunnel and take a sniff. Then he would creep back down again and say, "They're still there." "Are you quite sure?" Mrs. Fox would ask. "Positive," said Mr. Fox. "I can smell that man Bean a mile away. He stinks." Right, so check in tomorrow for the next chapter, which is going to be Mr. Fox Has a Plan. Take care and good night.